marriage is a team sport.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you got to work together.
There's
going to be times you're going to fucking bump heads and hate each other because you're not on the same page.
Right.
And it's just a matter of just, you know, communicating, looking back, or in the film, looking back at the film. Welcome back to Just Weirdly Blended. I'm Jesse.
And I'm Tom.
And it's another day, another Sunday.
Another day, another dollar.
You know, this Sunday came by so fucking quick.
This
week went by. We were just talking about it.
We were.
But I was just telling him, like, this week flew by.
I feel like this entire fall has just
really
flown
did.
by. I'm not really ready for Thanksgiving.
I wasn't ready for fucking Halloween.
I wasn't either.
I took Halloween off, and then I was, you know, I traced a little thing for JJ's mask last minute because I was like, I forgot all about it.
Right. I know. We bought Elliot's costume. Thank God Walmart still had one the day before.
Yeah.
Like the day before Halloween.
It's crazy out there, actually. Right now. I was at Burlington yesterday. And Alicia was looking for something to wear she went out with a couple buddies. It sounds like a couple guys. Guys.
She was going out with the bros.
No, like to her friend, like it's a coworker, you know, it was her birthday, whatever. Mm-hmm. I was in Burlington and I kind of looked through some stuff and I kind of hate clothes shopping.
Yeah.
Sometimes it gets overwhelming.
Right. Colors and fabric.
It just takes forever. Like you're like sifting through clothes, and I'm just like, okay, I'm bored.
Yeah.
But I looked out, like I just kind of looked up, and I was just staring at everyone, and it was just wild to see, like just all these people just
browsing and doing the same.
Yeah, just so many. It was just so many people coming in and out, and
we're like ants.
That's what it reminded me of. Yeah,
like an
exactly,
ant farm.
Bro. Like that's exactly
people
what it reminded me of.
People out. We're all just little workers just running around.
I was like, man, look at us.
We're just fat ladies sitting in the middle.
We're just
pumping out babies.
You know, and it's crazy when you think about it too, because it's like obviously we're all living our own little game of life, you know, and it's going either which way, and so we're all like, what are those, like NPCs in each other's lives? Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Non-playable characters.
Yeah, they're like these NPCs just roaming around. I'm looking at it like Grand Theft Auto,
right?
Which there's Grand Theft Auto 6 trailer. I think there was a
coming
trailer.
out December. I think December 6th, I believe, something like that. Oh man,
I heard good things already about it.
So jonesed over that. I'm a big GTA player. So.
I know. I still got to do 5. And I play video games way more than this guy.
Yeah, I have like maybe a month where I'll like during winter specifically, there's nothing else really to do, and I'll just sit down and like just constantly play a game. So that's like how JJ is though.
Yeah, he plays like in his phone if he plays a game or like on the computer. Yeah, but he doesn't play like me. I play my PlayStation.
Right.
They got all that, and he doesn't play anything.
I just have such a narrow window of stuff that I am that interested in. It's weird.
No,
it's
I get
weird. I like Ghost of Tsushima, but I never finished it. I need to go back to it and finish it. You
got to finish the stories. But the story is just for the story to finish. Yeah, like you don't even have to do all the side stuff just to finish the story.
Yeah, no,
the stories. That story. They're gonna make a live action.
That's cool. They should.
It's gonna be if they do it right though. You know, it's gonna be awesome.
Yeah. But that's what's fun, like, GTA, like I tried the online, and I'm not going to knock it because like a lot of people love it, I'm not big on what I'm terrified that they're going to end up doing is making, because it's successful online, they're going to make the whole thing. I like the single player mission. I like the full game experience. I like the free roam. I think that's one of the things I like so much about it is the free roam crap. You can do. I'm hoping that the world is very immersive, that there's a lot of little elements that make it feel kind of like a living, breathing thing.
Isn't it supposed to be Miami or something?
Well, not Miami, but really been confirmed. But yeah, the speculation I've heard and what most people have thought, and I read a lot of the BS that people throw out there, which I don't know how much of it is actually Rockstar, just like feeding little things like, oh, we had a leak. We're looking for that leaker. I'm pretty sure that they drop things on purpose.
Well, if you're a marketing department, you want to do that.
I mean, it's just enough to keep people like in. So the story that I've heard that I think is probably the most accurate, they are going to set it in Vice City, which is essentially Miami.
Yeah.
And probably like a South American location.
Dude.
So you can fly and smuggle back and forth. I think they're going to do more of a cartel kind of feel on this one. There's going to be a female and a male protagonist. So for the first time, it seems pretty confirmed. I've seen the same artwork of a girl over and over again. So that's pretty exciting. I guess I'm a guy, so I've always been fine with it. But for the ladies out there that probably would play, that's an exciting thing, I'm sure. Glass ceilings. Let's break the glass ceilings.
You know what? It's funny is some of my favorite games that I play,
like female protagonist.
It's always a female. Like this game Control I'm playing. The girl, it's a female.
Yeah, and I remember that Valentine gal from
Tomb Raider.
Laura Croft. Laura Croft. Ooh. Yeah.
The game I'm playing, the Horizon game. It's a girl.
Oh, there you go.
And then I'm a lot of
Resident Evil. That's what I was saying.
Resident Evil.
What's her name? Was it Valentine or was that the guy? Whatever.
I think.
Boy, I miss the old Resident Evil games that were actually zombies. This whole monster thing, not as into it. I like the original zombie.
They should remake it.
They need to, remaster the original. A mansion, creepy mansion, and don't do all the new agey stuff. Just unlock a door, see the zoom in on a door opening into a black room. God, I miss those old
Silent Hill. Those games were scary to me.
They were scary, but the thing that was so frustrating with those games is like every 2 seconds you had another load scene, and like the way that Resident Evil worked, it was like a big puzzle. So you'd like run down a hall, and then you'd constantly be in the wrong place and be like, oh shit, I gotta go back. Yeah. And every time you went through a door, it would have to load and on black screen, and then you see a door and it opens, and then it goes to black and you hear it shut. And then you gotta wait as the disc loads again. It's like, okay, can we just get to it?
I just want to play this game.
And never enough bullets ever. In that game, never enough bullets, and then you just got to hit them with your gun, and then you die.
I never really played Resident Evil.
See, another thing I love about
I played like Resident Evil 5, like
the original one I loved, and don't get me wrong, some of the newer ones are good and creepy, but there's just something I don't know. I'm not big into like the whole monster thing.
Yeah.
I just the original zombie. I don't know. I really want to see that. There was one like where they're in Africa. I forget which one that was. 4 maybe? No. Yeah. 4 might have been in France. I'm not sure. But anyway, that one seemed really creepy. Like, like some like the virus is spreading through Africa. And it was like, rawr. That was cool. But I don't know. I don't know.
Resident Evil's I don't know why I never played that game.
But one thing I like about like the GTA thing is they're like me. I don't play games to be a good game player. Like I'm not trying to get a challenge.
Yeah.
I want a story. I want it to be like an immersive movie. And that's where I love GTA 5. Like if you failed a mission enough, they'd ask you like, you just want to skip this? Like you just want to go cutscene?
Yeah.
And it's like, I never did because they made it easy enough. It was just challenging enough.
I did run into that when I started playing it.
Yeah.
You're
not very good at this.
I was like, it was like a chase scene or something, and I was like, no, I got to keep playing it because
were you going out to the boat?
I don't remember.
Either that or Laszlo.
Laszlo.
Yeah,
it took me a minute, and but I like that they do that.
They offer it like, hey, this might be pissing you off. Do you just want because it's such a it is like a movie.
I don't think they'll. But getting back to what you were saying, I don't think they'll actually ever get rid of
single player.
I think it's too popular, and it's like,
well, just the story. You've got to have a story to like tie you in, and I don't think anybody like loves always playing with other people.
No. I tried it online.
Yeah,
and I didn't care for it.
I didn't either.
I'm like, dude, I'm just trying to go get my money out of this boat, and I'm getting shot like 30 times.
And it's hard. I don't know what I'm doing, and everyone else is getting pissed. I don't know who you are. Yeah. Like you gotta, so like,
you can do missions.
Oh yeah, I would start a mission. I'm like, cool, I'll do a mission. Then it's real people. and I don't know what I'm doing, so I'm getting killed. And they're like, "Damn, bro, you just."
So I've been playing.
I'm playing with Sammy the Bull, and he's getting pissed at me.
I play pretty simple games. I play like football, basketball games. Sure. I play little adventure games. Those are the games I like the Horizon games, Ghost of Tsushima, those kind. But I've been playing this NBA 2K game online, and I'm not that good because there's like a timing to it.
Yeah.
And you got to time the jump shot right. And if you're slightly early, you miss. If you're slightly late, you miss.
Yeah.
You have to be excellent every time almost. And it's so frustrating sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on, that shit would have went in. He's wide open.
Seriously.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You suck. You suck.
It gets me. Yeah. But there's guys that they were talking shit yesterday because I played online, and so sometimes you'll get chatter.
Yeah, just random people.
And so mind you, I'm on these people's team.
Mm-hmm.
And they're on the same team. Mm-hmm. They're the only ones talking though. But one's more of a ball hog than the other.
Mm-hmm.
And so the other guy was getting annoyed, which I understand because there was times where I'm like, dude, pass it to me. I'll pass it to someone, because I like doing that because I know I suck.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And
I'm just a layover.
Yeah. I'll pass the ball. I don't need to score. I'll score if I need to.
I'll get an assist. We'll be good.
I had 5 points. I think everyone else had like way more than me. And so yeah. But anyway, after the game gets over. We won. Right. These two are talking shit to each other. Bro, without me, we wouldn't have won this game. I'm so good. The guy's like, bro, you're a ball hog. You took the, he's like, look at this. Look at my points. Look, they're talking shit to each other.
Like we're actually on the court.
But no, what's funny is they're on the same team. We were on the same. They're so talking shit to each other, being on the same team, right?
Yeah.
And I was just like, you're trash, bro. And then I wanted to get on. I almost got on because I had 5 points, right?
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know, man. I think I carried the team. Like I was gonna say something back, but I'm like, nah.
Look at my points,
because I would have done it just to be funny because they were being stupid. It was being so dumb. Like, no, I carried the team. I think I might try that one day.
Just to
interject,
trash talk everybody.
But like, even though I know I'm doing it because I suck. But I think that would actually break. I think sometimes making a joke or doing something kind of breaks up that.
Yeah.
That need for always being like tough and being
the humor aspect. Just dabble in a little humor.
It's a fucking online game. Just have fun.
You're not actually out on a court like in a pickup game.
Because on a pickup game, I feel like I could beat most of these guys that I'm playing against.
Yeah, try it in real life. I remember there was a South Park episode where the kid. It was back when Guitar Hero was super popular.
Oh God, yeah.
And so the kids were like all playing Guitar Hero.
I sucked.
And then Randy, Stan's dad, was like, "Oh, like he used to be in a band in the storyline."
Yeah.
So he like gets out his real guitar and starts like, playing. And the kids were like not impressed at all. So the dad ends up, I think he gets his band back together, whatever. And they start, of course, getting famous, and then he gets on drugs or something like that. It was some ridiculous storyline. But then the kids,
he becomes Keith Richards.
There's like a Guitar Hero band that they're putting together on some reality show, and this one kid can do this one tough song acoustic. So he's just clicking the buttons and stuff like without it plugged in. It was funny. It was so funny. And it did, like, I didn't play guitar back then, and I remember like I had Guitar Hero, and I'm like, this game is completely pointless, because the dad's argument was like, if you're learning it, why not just learn the real guitar? And they're like, well, that's stupid, that's lame. I'm like, why am I not putting this time into learning a real instrument?
At least you knew.
Yeah.
Is that when you put down Guitar Hero?
No. It was not. I started guitar after, because that was like when I was in college, I think. And I picked up guitar the year after I was in college.
I don't know what year Guitar Hero came out, but I think I was
08, 07, 06.
Yeah, I was almost 30, so I wasn't really into that kind of game.
Yeah.
Because I was like 20. I would have been 28.
I was just a young buck. I was over in college.
But people fucking... I tried playing it.
I think I was about 21 when I was playing it.
I tried playing it. I'm so bad at it. So Elena plays a game where it's basically like that.
Yes.
On the keyboard, but it's Friday Night Funkin'. You have to use the arrow keys. And so they're rapping to each other, but it's like...
Yeah, I hate that game.
And so I was trying that one, and I sucked at that.
Elliot
and she does
jumps while he's playing it. No, those kids are good at that. I've never been good at hitting the right button at the right time. If there's ever been something like that,
that's how that NBA game is.
And I even struggle that with like real guitar. For some reason, too much repetition, I struggle with. Like I get to a point where it's like I don't know.
Your mind free like
and it shouldn't be, because my mind should be like, oh, do it again.
It's muscle memory.
And again, yeah. That's what they say. Yeah, I don't know.
I need to exercise this muscle.
Yeah, I'm learning Chinese.
Are you?
Yeah, I've been doing Duolingo. Duolingo, guys, it's a great tool for learning languages.
Oh, that's cool.
You can even do it for free. I have not paid for the subscription. There's like a free version. I've learned ni hao, which I already knew from Kailan.
I knew that from a lady I worked with.
And I know zaijian, which is goodbye.
Okay.
Ling, 0. Yi, 1. R, 2. San, 3. And that's probably about it.
Oh, that's more than I know.
I've learned a lot of stuff, though. I'm working the old noodle.
That's cool.
So, yeah.
What got you wanting to try that?
So, Blanca wanted me to apply for a job at PNNL, which I knew I wouldn't get anyway.
Yeah.
You know, like I enjoy teaching, so probably never going to change that. But
yeah.
Anyway, I was like, yeah, sure. It was a very interesting job because I took some Asian history classes in college and really liked it.
Yeah.
And this job was like something to do with kind of like analysis of like Asia, China relations and like making recommendations and whatnot. And I feel like I am interested enough in international affairs and that kind of stuff that for a layman, like I have probably more knowledge than the average person.
Yeah, I have no clue.
I was
about
like,
any
you
of
know, I understand the international politics of things. I understand Asian history. I understand certain things, but I didn't speak Chinese. She's like, why don't you learn Mandarin? Like, okay, in a month I'll learn Mandarin and be ready to go. So obviously I'm not great at language anyway. So I'm like, well, this is going to take a while, but I'm like, hey, why not learn Mandarin? That'd be fun.
Yeah.
And I can walk around saying really intense things. But I work with a guy who actually lived in China. He taught in China and he speaks fluently. He married a gal from China and like he speaks fluently. So he knows. I talked to him and like, yeah, hey, I'm learning Mandarin. He's like, oh, cool. I'll like joke like ni hao, and then he goes and whatever, like says like this whole intricate sentences and laughs. I'm like, I don't know.
Hey, you know what's gonna be cool?
And I walk away.
It's gonna be cool. It's like one day, if you keep trying to learn, you'll start picking up little words, I guess.
So you're right, and that's a cool thing with him. I'm like, so how did you learn? And he goes, well, so he was in college, he was in the sophomore year, and there's like an international program, and they said, you can come to China and teach, which, I mean, how cool would that be? Like, you don't have kids or anything, you're just young. So he's like, that's true. So he signed up and he did it, and he said when he was there, instead of like, he's like, a lot of the Americans would just kind of hang out together and not really go out or do anything. He would just go. He would just go.
Yeah.
So he's like, he would go to the market, or he would go to restaurants, and he would just try to talk to people. And so he like really immersed himself in the language, and just through necessity, by putting himself out there where he kind of had to figure it out to get by, he picked up a lot, which they say that the full immersion is really like the best way.
Well, yeah.
I don't know where I am.
I wonder how long
but I would die.
I was going to say, like, I feel like I'm too stupid. Like, I would be in that situation, I would never learn.
I would have ended up in jail. I would have
I would have just stayed quiet and never I would point to something.
Me too. Yeah. Hot dog. You got a hot dog?
Ni hao. No, Lord, I don't know. I'll hear Alicia speak Spanish. I heard Blanca and her family, and so like through that, and watching novelas and stuff. Like I started picking up words, but I more can understand the word than say the word. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like there's certain words I'll hear, I'm like, oh, okay. Or I'll hear a sentence and I'll like know enough words that I can figure the sentence out. But I don't know the full sentence or something. Like I sound like an idiot.
Like foreign languages, maybe English kind of has this. I mean, I'm trying to think of like a good example, but like, so English has a lot of synonyms or like homophones, right? Let's say homophones, like the same word but different meanings.
Yeah, teaching time with Tom.
Sounds the same, different meanings.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. 2, 2, and 2. Good example of a homophone.
Yeah. There, and there.
There.
Yep.
There. But what's difficult in the other languages, Spanish has this a little bit, and Chinese definitely has this. You'll have the same word, but the inflection is just slightly different.
Yeah.
And that totally changes it. And it's like when you don't know the word to begin with, whether it's or like
because there's like, you know, like the feminine and masculine words they call them, right?
Yeah.
In a way.
Like some things are masculine, some are feminine. Why? We don't know.
Yeah. When I took French, that's how it was.
I know. Oh, I hated that.
And Spanish. I took Spanish in high school for like 1 year.
Was it law in French? I'm trying to remember.
Don't remember, bro.
Comment allez-vous français?
I took 2 years of French.
30 years ago.
I D'd in it.
Dude, I feel old when I say shit. It was like 30 years ago.
It's nuts,
no,
man.
It gotta be like 25 though.
I know.
Since I've been out of high school.
We just had our 20th reunion.
Well, yeah, no, 99. So yeah, 24 years coming up.
I was 04. So.
Sheesh.
Wait a minute. We did not just have our 20th reunion. It's coming up then.
Yeah.
If I was 04.
I didn't go to mine. I didn't even know
this year will be my 20th.
See, I don't know when they were though.
I don't care. I haven't gone back to any of them. So
I want to go to my one when it's like, you know, if I'm 70 or something.
See, that's it. I want to go back.
I made it.
And I'll wear like an old, like,
who are you?
I want to be the old guy with like the World War II cap and like the blazer with all the old like medallions on it or something.
Speaking of, Happy Veterans Day.
Yeah, seriously, Happy Veterans Day. I saw a veteran yesterday. I was walking through. I saw one. I did. I saw one.
Did you say hi?
I did. So it's funny. Blanc and I, neither one of us are very outspoken people. So like we walked by.
I kind of beg to differ, but I'll let you guys.
Well, this guy. Well, I'm okay. Yeah, like in social settings with people we don't know, we don't just go up and be like, "Hi, let's have a conversation."
Yeah.
So this guy was in a wheelchair, but he had like almost like a biker vest on, right? A black leather vest, but it had some Vietnam Veterans Association information on it. And he had like a lot of patches and stuff.
Yeah.
So he was obviously a veteran. And so like we walked by and then we both turned the corner and kind of look at each other like, God, I really wanted to say something. And she's like, I did too. So she's like, you need to go say something. Go say something. So finally,
that's
I'm like,
always the awkward part. Going back.
Yeah. So I kind of played it off like I was going back the other direction. So he like rolled around to the main aisle.
Oh, hey.
And so I turned around like, hey, I just wanted to say thank you for your service and happy Veterans Day. And he goes, oh, thank you. No problem at all.
Yeah. Was it on Veterans Day too?
It was.
Nice.
Because yesterday was Veterans Day, correct?
Was it yesterday?
Yeah, the 11th, right? Because it's Armistice Day.
Okay. I don't know why I thought it was on Friday.
So
because the kids were off.
The history. Well, right. We celebrated.
That threw me off.
We celebrated it Friday.
That threw me off.
But you know where Veterans Day comes from?
The veterans.
It was for the veterans.
It came from the Washington House.
It was in Washington State.
No, I have no idea.
So a great movie to watch if you're interested in Veterans Day is the new All's Quiet on the Western Front on Netflix. It's German. Like it's German is spoken throughout the movie. Great movie.
Oh.
And it's about World War I. So World War I was going very poorly for both sides. Like people were just dying like crazy, but it was going particularly bad for the Axis powers, you know, mainly Germany. And on the 11th day of November, finally Germany accepted, like, we can't go any farther. We're done. And so at, I think it was like 11 a.m. on the 11th day of November, armistice was signed and the fighting stopped at that moment. Oh. So from that, because so many people died, it was a horrific war. I mean, people for the first time saw chemical warfare. The trench warfare was atrocious. So many people died.
Jesus.
That it was like, the world kind of came to a point like, we can't do this. Like, this is barbaric. Because, you know, it used to be war during the time of like the British Empire. It was more like sport. It was kind of like football, right? You march out onto a field
and then you shoot each other.
And then,
which I think they should do war like that now.
Right, like it's a game. Like presidents should go out on a field and shoot at each other, and that should be it. But
like the Civil
just a
War
duel, right? Like that's all it should be. But it was so absolutely horrific. Like the machine gun had just been invented, so it was the first war where like a machine gun was heavily used and it just mowed through people. So the general feeling was it was the war to end all wars. Like this should never happen again. It's too horrific. And so it was a huge day. They called it Armistice Day. And it was celebrated for years. And then I want to say it was like the 50s where it became, because there had then been World War II and there were all these other veterans. So instead of being based around World War One, it just became generally the veterans. And Hitler did not get the message that war was bad. And so he started World War II.
I mean, I guess because Hitler was just like he didn't take... He's like, you know what? No, I want a rematch.
He's like, yeah,
I don't like to lose.
Look, we did it wrong the first time, but I'm going to build Volkswagens. You like Volkswagen?
I'm going to do it better this next time around.
We're going to do it.
Okay, I fucked up. He just played.
All right, it didn't work.
So if Hitler played like basketball or something, he would have probably excelled. With that mindset,
right?
He was a dictator, and
he had the Mamba. He just had the Mamba mentality.
He had the mentality, just the wrong sport.
He just did some bad things with it.
Yeah. He should have went the other way.
He's like, you know what? I would just like to be there in the early moments of his like thought process. You know what would be cool? Just thinking about all these disgusting things. Like, that'd be really neat. What we should do is build these camps. And they're like, camps, that sounds like fun.
That's cool.
And then he's like you're with them. You're like, yeah, there'd be camps, like summer camp. That's great. Yeah. And then in these camps, we'd bring all these people. Like, yeah, that's great. And then we kill them all.
We'd be like, wait, what?
Wait. Okay.
I thought we were going to like sing and,
I like
have marshmallows.
But are you getting sick and tired of this crazy shit?
How do you get that brainwashed? That's what I don't understand.
Ah, man.
Are you just afraid of the guy?
It happens. It's happening. I mean, it still happens today. I don't know. It's crazy, but
it's crazy the power. Your mind.
Persuasion.
I don't know. It is.
Yeah.
That guy, hell of a salesman.
He would. You know, sell you a lemon and convince you it was lemonade. Let me tell you.
Swear to God, like that's what that is. Like to me, it's like someone you believe something so hard.
All he did was yell at people. Like the entire time he gave speeches, like his hair's flying around because he's so like.
There's a movie I want to watch where it's Jojo Rabbit. Did you see that?
I haven't seen it, but I want to.
I want to see that.
He comes back, right?
So he's a like kid's imaginary. So the guy who plays Hitler is a great like director, like Taikiki Waititi or something like that.
He's kind of like a comedian, isn't he?
I don't know if he's a comedian. He's just funny. He's very comedic. Yeah, and he has like his shows are great though. Our Flag Means Death. If you have not watched that, dude, that is it's not only is it like hilarious because they're pirates, but they were like actors or something. I forget how exactly it was, but he's trying to be a pirate.
Okay.
And they're just shitty pirates, right? Like it's
Oh, I think you told me about that one.
It's so funny, but like the story that is involved, like the story that builds inside of it, like it's so good.
Yeah.
But it's 100% worth it. Like I can't wait for the
I want to watch that Jojo Rabbit.
But he plays Hitler.
Right.
He plays the Hitler. And he also did that show, but
he's a kid's imaginary friend.
But so it's this kid how he would think of Hitler at this time. So he's playing. He explains how he got he's like, I don't know how his accent was, so he's just gonna have a New Zealand accent. He's just gonna have, this is his accent. This is how
it's a kid's imaginary friend.
Yeah, this is how
it's New Zealander.
I don't know, but this is how like. He says he can't do accents. So
Can you imagine?
He's like, so I just kept it with
mate. Listen, my name's Hitler. I've done some things.
Yeah, because it's so funny.
That's hysterical.
But Jojo Rabbit, I just watched this show though that was actually, it was pretty cool. It was called In It of Itself. Yeah.
That's tricky.
So it's like this monologue play is how it's on Hulu. It's actually really good. It's like, it's kind of a self-reflection, like,
it's not like beat poetry or something, is it?
It's poetic in a way, but it's not like, they're not No, it's nothing like that. Like there's these, there's this revolver he calls himself there's this guy that the Russian roulette. And so each bullet basically is like things in your life. And the way it was described, the way the guy like talks about these different bullets.
So it's kind of like one of those documentaries where you have somebody sitting and he's kind of explaining a philosophy or something.
Yeah, yeah, he is. And he was like, you're not defining. Don't let like things in your life define who you are. You know? Like, everyone had to pick this card that says I am, and then there was I'm a doctor, I'm a this, but there was also some that said I am like
human.
No, even like I am a overthinker, I am like self-degrading.
Whatever
ones.
you grab, that's what you identify.
Like, so some people might have grabbed it to be funny, some things to be funny, or some grabbed it because I am a doctor, I am an oncologist, or whatever.
Right.
So
I am stupid.
No, there was some like that.
Yeah, degrading. Yeah.
And
sure.
So he was just saying, don't let those things define you. You're essentially the one with.
That's a piece of you.
Yeah,
that's not all of you.
Yeah, you are this, except for who you are.
Isn't that one of the hardest questions? Like, who are you? What are you?
And so the way he describes it, it's very like he's describing it, and you're seeing his life.
Yeah,
like he's telling his life, but he's also like sharing it in a way that's very artistic
makes you kind of inwardly reflect. Yeah.
And he had this book. He goes, okay, how's your story going to end? How's this going to end? Like he goes, so what I'm going to do is, he lists someone off and one of the cards or something. He goes, oh, that's me. He's like, will you so what I'm going to ask you to do is at a certain point in this, I'm going to ask you to leave. And I want you to finish this story. How is this story going to end? And if you're up to it, I am asking you to return the next day to this. And so as this is shot in like a documentary style. So you're watching the performance, but you're also, then you see that guy return, but then you see the past people return. So that guy, he's going to get kicked out, but the lady from the previous day comes down with this book, and it's like a thick book, and it has like everyone's, how did this end? And they kind of read it. And some of them are very like, they like kind of sad, some of them. And it was really cool the way he does it. And then he went through each of them, and he like, I don't know if he was able to call them out who they picked. Like I am like patience, I am whatever, but he was able to do that. And he was a magician too.
Based on the person. Like,
he was somehow, so as he's performing, but as he's doing that, he's performing magic tricks too. And he's performing these magic tricks, bro. It
was magical,
dude. The sleight of hand that this guy, like, he's like, which grip are you going to practice? And he goes, they say that takes 8 years to learn the grip, different grips of holding cards. And so I didn't know which grip to learn, so I just learned all of them
together.
Yeah, I just learned them all, and then he just kind of describes that, and then he shows these magic tricks, or
So he explains to you how he does it, but it's so magical that it's like...
Yeah, he does this one where he like puts all the cards in order. But the way he does it, it's a documentary I really highly... You should check out. At least he wasn't into it. I don't recommend it if you're gonna go to like lay down, because it is a little slow.
You might fall asleep.
Yeah. But if you're
Blanca
into
won't
it...
be into it, but I think I would be.
I think you would really be into it, really. Like, you'll watch it and you'll be like, oh shit, that's,
this is heady stuff.
It is very heady. It's really cool. There's so much like meaning behind some of the things he's saying. And just the metaphors.
Depth.
For the gun, and then you see these 6, like a gun chamber, there's 6 different topics he ends up talking about. Right. And then just basically it's like, you're not defined by the things you do in life and the things you fuck up, and that doesn't define the person you are.
Sure.
Pretty much, like,
a broader
that's
picture.
Up to you.
Right.
Who you
have a determination of your future and the future of things that you do. Absolutely.
It was really cool.
Wow. That's I need to watch that.
Yeah. I heard it on a Bad Friends podcast. Yeah. So I have this list of like shows that I've been listing shows if I'm going to watch, or certain things I'll look into. I've been trying to list that stuff, so because I was like, oh, I'm going to remember that, but I'd never do. And so like I keep notes, and so I was like, oh, I told Lisa, let's watch this, and she fell asleep.
Yeah,
she wasn't into it, but I was like, I like watched it. It was like really cool because I love magic, and so it's not like magic the whole time, but like the card tricks he's doing. I was like, dude, that is pretty cool. Awesome. Yeah, because you're just watching him, and you're like, wait, how did he? Because all of a sudden, like,
so he's talking about something else.
Yeah, he's like, I can make this look like he's like throwing these cards out, but the card on top never moves, but it looks like he's pulling cards from the top. The way he's
his
doing
idea of this whole thing that life's like a magic trick, like whatever you're thinking is not real. Is that kind of the premise?
Really.
Like
no, you have to watch it.
Yeah, I guess
it's like really like it reflects you kind of self-reflect on you in a way, you know, like
yeah.
What am I loading up into my chamber,
yeah.
You know, what am I doing, you know, like, how am I acting? Am I, I think I'm stupid, you know, am I living my life that way, or you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, am I letting that define me? So this is how I am, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So this is like, don't let your like faults define who you are.
Right. That negative self-talk.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was a really, like, it is very heady. It's about an hour and a half. It's worth the check out, I think.
Nice.
If you're into that stuff.
I am.
If not, it's probably not for you. But I mean, there's like a lot of self-reflection. I'd probably watch it again just so I can pay attention a little more.
Yeah.
Just because, you know, when you're watching with your girl
or
something, you want to be like, seeing if they're like liking it. And if they're not liking it, then you're kind of like,
start second guessing.
You're like, But no, it was good. It was really good. Cool. It was very, like I said, poetic. He makes this fucking gold brick disappear. Like, he describes this brick, whatever, and he like puts these deck of cards, and he tells someone about these streets. Hey, what street in New York? She's like, North Street. And then the other guy's like, what's across street? He picks another person. What's across street of that North Street? And the person thinks 3rd Street. And he goes, okay. And then he builds this thing, and then disappears, and he's like, okay, it's on the corner of North and whatever, right? And then, you know, I don't know if it's there, but it's cool the way it disappears and shit. The magic is so sick. I want to be a magician.
I don't get it, because like I know the magic's not real. I know that it's sleight of hand. I know it is,
but sometimes I wonder.
They're so smart. The way that just the fact that human minds can be like perspective and these illusions, that people can figure that out and then be so talented with just the slightest movement.
You can't even see it, because he talks about like the person who trained him was like, you know, just remember, they're going to look, you know, people will look, you know, look at your hands. You get people like that, you know, like,
right. I do. I always stare at their hands. Doesn't mean I can figure it out.
And so he's telling that story, he's doing this card trick. And you're watching his hands.
He's making you watch his hands.
Exactly. And you're watching his hands, and you're just like in awe,
because you can't figure out how he's doing it.
And if you can, you're full of shit, because there's no way.
Or you're also a magician, you know the trick.
You must, but he does it very well. Where
is this the one that you were saying? It looks like he's pulling the card on top?
Like it looks like he's pulling the cards, or he's like shuffling through them, but it's like what are those like drawings where it's just like one dimension, but then if you move it slightly, it looks 3-dimensional.
Okay.
What is that called? That I can't think of it. But anyway, the way he's like positioned, I wonder if it just gives that illusion. It's an illusion. Stupid. An optical illusion.
Hey, don't let that define you.
I'm so dumb. That's the word. But yeah, he's like, I don't know if like the way he is positioned and doing it gives off that optical illusion that he is pulling from the top when he's maybe pulling from the bottom. But you can't tell. His hands. It's crazy.
It's all in the thumbs. all in the thumbs.
If he didn't have thumbs, he wouldn't be able to do that. Yeah. You couldn't be a magician without thumbs. Could you?
It would be hard. You could. I watched a documentary about.
Can you imagine not having thumbs? Bro?
Well, I watched a documentary about mountain climbers, and I forget what happened to this guy.
Probably lost his thumbs.
He might have. Something happened. I think he did lose a finger or something. and he was scaling a wall of granite.
Mm-hmm.
And granite, like, it breaks
really easily,
fairly smooth, right?
Yeah.
Like, not perfectly smooth, but you just get these little ridges. Well, he would have, like a centimeter to hold on to. And he learned, maybe it was his index finger he lost. Whoops. But he learned to get his finger on that spot and then wrap his thumb on it. And he developed a strength in every little tiny muscle in his entire body so perfectly that he could do these incredible things. Like, so a magician without thumbs, I don't know. Maybe
you know what? You're right though. The human ability, the ability for a human to like overcome things, it's pretty remarkable.
It is really pretty remarkable.
We're very, like
we take ourselves for granted.
Like everyone hates each other, and like there's all this like crap all the time. But like if you just stop and think about like the things the human can do, it's amazing. It is amazing. The things we can accomplish.
Well,
like,
I think that's where like we get into trouble is we get
just
bored.
like you with you're building. He's building like a thing, and he built his mantle, and this shit looked. I told him I thought they bought it.
You're very kind. Thank you.
Like it looked really, but he's mastering a craft that I really think. Well, no, you're kind of mastering that art of like woodworking and doing that stuff.
I rudimentary, yeah. I know how to cut a 45-degree angle, use wood filler and sand.
But
and it turned out really good. It did. I really appreciate your kindness.
But he's being a little just like modest, but like that stuff's not easy for myself. I feel pretty comfortable around a saw, and I don't know, I don't know if I could do those things. You know what I mean?
Well,
I think like for you, like that you're a master of your craft. Like when you want to learn something, that's what I mean. Like the human mind, like,
yeah, sure. Right.
You wanted to learn guitar. So you fucking put down Guitar Hero, picked up a real guitar, pick up a Les Paul.
Yeah.
There
you go.
Put down the Sony, picked up a Les Paul.
Whatever. You're right.
Was it Les Paul?
It was a Les Paul. One of them. My first was a Fender, but my first electric was a Les Paul.
I had a couple that I know. Gibson.
Yeah.
And that's the cheap one, right?
No.
Gibson's good.
Gibson's good. Epiphone is the
Stratocaster,
cheaper version of a Gibson, and that's what I have is Epiphones. I won't fork out the money. I'm not good enough. I play guitar, but I play guitar like I cut wood. It's a real craftsman that's done it for years would be like, yeah, you should have done it this way.
But that's an accomplishment you're gonna get here.
I think
when did you start that?
Which one?
The wood shelf.
The woodworking?
The one you're doing right now.
Oh, the one now?
Yeah.
So oh God, everything's blurring, and I have too many things going on at once. So I'm trying to think. So I had one piece sanded yesterday. I had one piece of wood sanded yesterday.
Oh, okay.
And so I was able to sand the rest and then kind of throw it together yesterday. But I'm kind of learning as I do because I've never built a cabinet before. Like I've helped my dad build some furniture, and my dad's pretty good. Like he's got heavier duty tools than I have.
That's pretty cool. That'd be something. Hopefully,
yeah. It's just my dad got into it later because we had a neighbor that did it, and so my dad got interested. So I've always watched it. I didn't really get into it till I had my own house, and then started.
I'm gonna be your dad.
So there.
No, I'm serious.
Would you be my dad?
Well, no. But like. No, in the sense that like I don't know how to do that. So I'm like 40, and now I'm gonna start getting.
Well, hell, come over anytime you want.
Not into like as deep as you have, but like the cabinets or whatever. But just in that sense, JJ will hopefully see that and be like,
yeah. Well, there's
Elena
pride in something that you've done yourself.
Oh yeah,
and so it's like
you're right.
I know enough. Like I watch these videos where these guys are cutting angles and stuff and fitting things together, and I'm not that good. I'm not good like that at this point. But I'm good enough to figure some things out.
You're smart,
and thank you.
You're a smart guy. You figure shit out.
So it's like while I'm building this cabinet, ideas are changing as I go. Yeah. So it's not like a plan, and I'm just like doing a plan. It's like. I have this plan in my head. I start putting it together and I go, wait a minute, that won't work. And so then I've got to kind of stop and formulate, well, how am I going to change it to make that work? And then, kind of come up with a new plan. It's kind of fun that way. It's like a puzzle.
Yeah, for sure.
And so then in the end, so far I haven't screwed anything up so bad. that it's a big problem.
No, nice.
I did get pissed at myself though yesterday. I'm sitting on alone in the living room for a few minutes, and Blanca wasn't in the room, and we laid our own floor, and I was really working hard, but it got to the point of like, you work so long that you start getting kind of rummy, and I worked so hard to make sure that I mixed and matched flooring pieces, because it's not real wood, it's the laminate flooring.
That stuff was pretty thick laminate.
Let me tell you something.
Yeah,
I have seen some spots where I laid 2 of the same board next to each other, and there's a spot where I laid 3 of the same board in a row.
Oh,
I was so pissed at myself when I saw that, because I swear when I was laying them down, I was looking all over the place. I was making sure.
Dude, you know how you like that? That's an optical illusion too, because you start seeing lines, and all of a sudden it's all just like the same line. Or, you know what I mean?
And I like. If Blanca didn't notice and hasn't said anything, I'm in the clear. I'm not going to say anything because she will razz me on that. But I just like,
no, I think she's happy with the floors.
She has been, so I'm not going to bring it up.
Yeah. No, I mean, in general, like even with the fireplace. Yeah, she sent the picture to the group. That looked awesome.
Yeah,
I seen
I'm really
that yesterday.
happy because I've cut rock stone now. I built that. Like I've done everything for the living room. Like I feel pretty good about it.
Yeah.
The other thing I really haven't done is like drywall.
Yeah. No, drywall's
heating and air, that kind of stuff. But
no, like, I've only done like drywall, some electrical.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The
flooring with you that one time.
Yeah. We learned a few things with that one.
Yeah. Flooring's different. That's a beast. But no, man, your project's coming along.
It's coming along. Yeah. We once I get because we're doing closing cabinets on the bottom with like a reading bench under the window, and then we're going to do bookshelves up the side. We have a fairly large window.
Yeah, so fairly large. It's like 15 feet.
It's not that big, but it's a good size window.
It's got to be at least 12 feet.
You think?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Well, whatever.
It's tall. It's like a picture frame window. It's tall.
It's big.
It's like it has an arch to it.
So I'm going to build the book frames up to where it starts to arch, and then that's going to kind of be the stop. So I think it's going to look really nice when it's done.
You have a mayor's house.
Yeah, a mayor's house.
Like a mayor.
Like a mayor.
The mayor of Kennewick.
Yeah, that's cool. All right.
Your house is like that.
I'll be the mayor of Kennewick.
That's what it pictured. Like
Didn't our mayor just resign? I don't think our mayor resigned.
This is how not into politics I am. I don't even know the mayor of my own city.
I'm just going to start calling myself the mayor.
The only time I vote is if there's like a school thing, I'll vote.
Which I appreciate.
And then I'll vote for like when's the president and that stuff. I'll vote for that just because, it's my right. But
it's my right, damn it.
And, there's things I vote for, but that's the only time I like real look into them.
Sure.
Certain things. It's like then, but like during the week and shit, I'm like, oh, let me look up, Mayor Johnson here.
Oh, see, I do.
Like I don't do that. Like I'm just doing things around the house or just, I don't know, doing nothing.
Gotcha.
There was a guy that was running for, was he running for the Congress? What was he? He was running for something, Matt Boinke.
Oh, Banky or whatever. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I know him.
Yeah, you said that. Like he used to work at the college or something.
Yeah. He was an instructor over there at Charter College, and he was a cool guy. He was he was easy to talk to. He was chill. He was pretty smart with the technology already.
Nice.
So he was pretty down to earth fellow. And I remember when I seen it the first time, and I was like, that name's not fucking familiar. That name's familiar, but it's not like that's not a common name. That's that
right.
And then when I seen it, I was like,
that's him.
Yeah. The name and the last name, because the last name is like one of those.
Yeah.
Just, it's not, even like my last name's not very common. So it used to, my last name went from being super common.
Yeah. The most common name.
My last name was
I say John, you say
Smith.
There you go.
Yeah. That's the most popular last name in America.
Yeah. That's John Q. Smith, right?
Yeah, probably. John Doe. This is second.
Or is it just John Q? I don't know.
That's a good movie.
Yeah, it was. It was.
Denzel, though, he don't do anything bad, I don't think.
No, I don't think so. I've never heard of.
Have you ever seen Fences with him?
Yes, I have. Viola Davis played his wife, right?
God, she's such an underrated actress. She fucking kills it when she acts.
Everything she does. Yeah.
Yeah, she's there's a scene where she's yelling at him like, what do you think? I waited 18 years? You think I wanted to lay up another man? I wanted that shit, but I didn't.
There are two
I was like,
pieces of art that hit that level. And that was her and the same moment as Carmela Soprano to Tony. There's a point in season 4 where things blow up in her face about all the shit she's put up with from Tony for years. And she loses it. And Edie Falco, I think there was a part of her that connected so deeply with her character of Carmela
that she felt that for
she
real.
Loved Tony. Like, I think that in moments of them acting together and being together, she wasn't in love with James Gandolfini, like romantically, but she was so invested in this love of these
she took it like a real relationship.
When it's just like Viola Davis did. Like, when she's yelling at him and screaming at him and kicking him out, the tears and the emotion and just the rawness of it, you're like, this feels real. Like, this feels like this lady who's ready to just snap.
Like, she did that really happen?
And it was the same type of thing. I mean, in Fences, so Tony doesn't end up getting anybody pregnant. Like in Fences, right? Isn't it that the gal that he's been having an affair with ends up pregnant? And now Viola Davis
I can't remember. I just remember seeing that scene, but I haven't.
I think that's what it was. Because I think he gets her pregnant and she's like, basically, like, I'll raise this baby. Like, I'll do my duty essentially. But as far as you and me, like, we're done. Whatever it is, like, I'm not leaving. Nothing like that, but me being your wife, like, this love, it's dead. You killed it.
Yeah,
he was such like he
was a dick.
He was just he
was just a hard guy, but that's how it was.
But that's the thing, the beauty of that story, and it was a play. I mean, did you catch that? Like, it was set up because Fences is a play, and it was shot like a play.
I never.
There was like Act 1, Act 2, Act 3. If you look at it, the entire beginning of that movie is in the backyard. And characters come on stage and leave stage, right?
And
then there's like, isn't it in their house?
Then they're in their house.
And then people come in and they leave. I mean, it was like, that's kind of stuff that gets me excited, is when you can see these little elements where it's like thematically, you're like, okay, I see what they're doing here. I mean, it was very much like a play. And I know that there were some scenes, but it wasn't like a movie.
They weren't like in the car.
Yeah, there's not scenes where it's like jumping around a lot. It felt very much like a play, and I thought that was really, really cool.
No, I have to rewatch that one.
Yeah, him and Viola Davis together though, man, that was a nice match.
Because I think even his part just before that was like a really good scene, so that that dynamic just
and I think it was kind of indicative of a lot of relationships. Like, I know, we're watching Sister Wives and I hear it a lot. And I know I've said things like this. I'm not doing things like he's doing, but that feeling where you have, because he, in the story of Fences, he would work all week and then he would come home Friday with some alcohol and he and his friends would hang out and drink.
Oh, yeah.
That was kind of the perspective that you got in the beginning of the movie. Yeah. And at one point, he kind of blows up on her, or at least says it to her. It's been a while since I've seen it, but he's like, I don't drink all week. I'm not out all week. I come home and I get drunk one day of the week. And the rest of the time, I bring the money home to you. I do, obviously at some point he cheats on her, but it's like, how many times though have you had that kind of thing where it's like, I'm a great guy. I'm a good guy. I do all this stuff. I do all these things.
No, him saying that, right? I swear I've probably said that to my wife. Right. It's like I drink all day. It's not like I drink all through the week. I only drink on the weekends.
Right.
But like, that drinking on the weekends is like I drink all fucking week though. You know what I mean?
Right. Like, you're making up for it.
Yeah. So I'm sure that does get tiring.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure. Right. Well, that's the perspective.
But that is how it feels though. Like, but I'm a good guy. I
but
should
we're
be able
all
to do this
human.
shit.
I think, that's what it boils down to. Like, like I said, we're watching
Sister Wives.
We talked about this a little bit, Sister Wives, and we've kind of fast forwarded to the end. At first, because we thought it'd just be fun to watch them fall apart. And then, like I said last week, you start to kind of care about these people as you watch their lives. And then it's kind of sad. But it was fascinating seeing them go through COVID and how that was not a good thing.
Well, I mean,
for so many families, COVID really tore people apart.
Especially for four.
But man, I mean, but I can hear, Cody in that show, obviously it sounds bad a lot.
Yeah, I can see his point on some things.
But I think, like, as a husband, as a guy, I know I sound bad a lot. I know you probably sound bad a lot. But the reality is, like, everybody's dealing with what they're dealing with at that time the best that they can, and through their lens and what they're going through and what they're
I know. I think, and you're expecting them to understand your feeling towards that.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Which that's not going to happen unless you we're both in a calm mindset where you can actually talk.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean?
Right. That communication piece.
Yeah. Because you're just blurting out, blah, 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 and you sound like an asshole, but she's not seeing your side of it because you're not maybe explaining it or you're not just helping her understand, but she's also coming at you a different way where you're like, well, why are you being like this? But then when you're both calm and you can actually sit and say, hey, what this I was feeling this way because of this.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. Well, I was doing this because of this. Oh, okay. I see what the fuck you're talking about. Me and Alicia have had those combos just like that, where I was just like, you know what? No, I was kind of pissed because you did this.
Right.
And that's, or not, you didn't do this, but this happened and this is why I was upset.
Right.
And then she was like, well, the reason I got pissed was because the way you did this or that. And I'm like, oh yeah, well, I'm sorry.
Right.
Motherfucker, I'm sorry. No.
Can you tell that to me too? Can you tell me you're sorry, please?
Right.
Yeah. That happens every once in a while.
Yeah.
You got to log those. But yeah,
I got one a few weeks back or a month ago.
Nice.
Yeah, log that shit.
That's pretty good. You beat the odds.
October 2nd at 7:45. No,
and 46 seconds. Yeah, no, it's an interesting show. It's an interesting dynamic. I feel for all of them because it's you go through some really hard lifetimes. Obviously, you're not going to handle everything perfectly.
Yeah, no.
It's nice to not have a camera in your face when you do screw up, when you do step in crap, when you do say something that just sounds horrible, to not have somebody filming you and putting you on national television.
And so you think there's a lot of filtering for him?
For all of them, as far as cutting and editing?
No, just in the way he says things.
I don't know,
do you think as would it be worse if the cameras weren't there? The way he talks.
Saw
you know what I'm saying?
An argument between him and Janelle that felt pretty authentic. Our vlog and I have a favorite point.
Is that after they split up?
They're in her apartment. Oh. They're about to split up.
Oh, okay, yeah. There's a scene I think they get back together.
Cody, would you stay? And he goes, no. Yeah. We love that. And then he's leaving and she goes, fuck you.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, that felt real.
That's when he was in his leather coat.
One thing I understand about Cody, because it's probably their family culture, and obviously there's some chauvinism if you're in.
That's his first chick, though. I think.
Mary actually.
Mary
was his first. Janelle, second or third.
She's is she the blonde? I forget which one she looked like.
Yeah, Janelle.
She's not heavy, but
she's a little heavy.
Yeah. I like her.
I like her too. At first, I didn't
like her
know
attitude
if I liked her, but man, she's I like her a lot. She does. She's a strong person, and I was shocked at moments because Cody, I hadn't heard blatant chauvinism. But, I mean, some of the things that he said, I was like, I don't know, bro. I don't know, man. I'm all for men being treated equal too and all that. I don't get into all this new agey stuff, but I'm like, I'm also not cool with the way things used to be either. I want everyone to be on an even. I just want us to treat each other like people. That's my whole thing.
No, I've heard him say some crazy shit.
It's probably one of the, sometimes he's like.
I think there was times where he said it, and I'm watching it with Alicia, and I was like,
"Yeah,
dang, can you imagine?" I go, "Can you imagine?" She goes, I would stab you." She didn't say that, but
I forget what he said. Oh, well, it was that argument with Janelle, and he's basically like, "You're not listening to me." And so I'm not going to give you the time of day because you're not being respectful.
I was yelling at the screen well, you kind of ain't listening to her either, bro.
Yeah,
come on, man.
Come on, Cody, man. What the fuck? Come on, man.
You got you a ride or die right there. What are you doing?
Well,
she would be that girl, though. If you treated her right, she would do whatever for you.
Well, the thing that's so sad to me, too, and again, in Cody's defense, I'm not on TV all the time. This is the most
he asked for that shit, though. I'm not even. I don't even feel sorry.
But I also know how TV works.
Yeah.
And they edit things, and you can say things that sound bad, and they can sound different in context. However, this one's kind of hard to contextualize. The one thing that I think is sad, like truly sad, is if it is true from what some of the wives say that he tells them, I'm not attracted to you anymore.
That's fucked up.
And we're not going to have relations. And his view is if I'm not feeling it romantically, then I can't have sexual relations.
Well, he had said that, something like that.
But like he's told them, the slightly older wives, which frankly, like
he said, I'm not attracted to you.
I don't mean this mean, but the wives look better now than I think they did when they were younger. Like,
no, you're right.
I would have dated any of them. Like Vlog and I were talking about last night. I'm like, if I were like 50 and I saw, one of their profiles pop up, I'd be like, yeah, I'll go on a date.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
they seem like nice ladies and like whatever. And so I think they look better now as more mature women than they did when they were younger. And
they got more money.
They do have that too.
They don't look as trashed out. No,
it's just kind of sad. Like, obviously, in truth, there's moments where you're not as attracted to someone you've been with for 20, 30 years. I'm sure that happens. Like, I'm sure that you have to go through an adjustment where you're not these young people anymore. So I'm not criticizing that, but to tell somebody that when you're going through a period of struggle, or you're I've heard that relationships kind of ebb and flow.
Yeah, and we've said that many times.
At our ages, I don't think you quite have the physical side of that as much.
No,
but you definitely have it in the emotional side of things. And if you're committed in a relationship and a marriage and 4 marriages, I mean, you'd think that you double down on that and be like, hey, let's fix it. And I'm not criticizing too hard because, again, having a responsibility for 4 different spouses,
which you think
hard
would
enough
make
for one, I think, but
you think you'd want the one more because if you're doing this once a week or whatever, you think you'd like, oh, hey, girl,
right?
It's been a week, I hadn't seen you,
right?
Or whatever.
Come here.
But then he's probably like, God, I just had sex like 3 other times. I'm kind of just, I don't feel like it.
Sometimes you just don't, your libido as you get older.
But see, and I think that's where that would be an issue is like, say there are the days, like, obviously I'm not saying that they probably did it every day, but I'm sure there was those days where maybe he wasn't feeling it because maybe he's had some just recently, or he was just like,
that morning, and then you're at somebody else's house that night.
Well, like say, and then she hasn't had it in X amount of time, and she wants it, but now he's just like, fuck, I'm so tired. I don't really want it. And then you start becoming like, you start questioning yourself, where you think you're like, what is he not attracted to me? And then that spirals into like you don't try as hard. You're not trying to get all nice and look good for your person,
right?
Like that's like a
compounding effect. One of the saddest things I heard, Christine, we saw an episode last night. we're one of those people that just react. We're like doing a reaction episode. To sister wives, but I'm gonna do it anyway because it's fun. Christine last night, she's moved out. She's back in Utah. And she was talking to her kids about maybe dating again. She said that she's on a dating site. They're very supportive of her because they've kind of watched things.
Her kids are the bigger ones, right?
The older kids, yeah. And she said, the only experience I've had is like your dad. Like my first kiss, everything was with your dad. And she's like, and the scary part is like, all I know is that I was with one person and he didn't like it. So, and it's like, it was just so sad because I'm sure that wasn't true. I'm sure that there were times in their life together where, he did, and there was an attraction and everything, and it's just gotten really sour. But it's like so heartbreaking that she feels that way or felt that way. It's man, like that's.
Well, I think the way he probably got him too is they're at a vulnerable time. Right. Yeah. Where it's easy to almost not manipulate, but kind of, course, like, no, join. I feel like there's got to be some of that.
Well, they claim that usually it's the women that request to join, but who knows what goes into it. And I
don't know. I think
I don't want to totally shit talk Cody because like I've seen his side at times. I've definitely seen him and been like, yeah, no, I totally get it.
I know I couldn't be married to that many.
No, I mean it's like. But obviously you make mistakes as a person. Some of the chauvinism, I'm like, we just need to bring you into the modern era a little bit, just a little bit.
Can you imagine though, more than one wife, like telling you, say you're busy,
right?
It's been a busy month, right?
Well, like right now, I'm building these shelves. If I had 3 other wives going on in other houses.
Yeah, other houses, but other projects.
Right.
Not even, say you guys do live in the same house, right? Yeah.
When are we getting the floors done?
When are you going to do my bathroom?
Right.
When are you going to replace my toilet?
Oh, you got all this time for her fucking shelves over there, but you can't.
You know. I was told Lisa that, you know what? You'd be my number one, though, so fuck all of them. You know, like, they have to wait.
Yeah, right.
You know?
Well, according to them, Robin's his number one.
Well, yeah. She's the youngest.
She's the youngest. That's the thing that gets me is like, of course he's more attracted to her right now. She's the youngest.
This is the thing I kind of hate sometimes about guys. Some, you know, like they'll talk shit about the girl, right?
Yeah.
Like I knew this lady, husband, I guess would talk shit about her, right?
Yeah.
How, you know, she's too fat.
God.
And she, mind you, she was older. She's probably like 20 years older than me, right? She's like in her 60s now, but she's attractive for an older woman.
Yeah.
She had, you know, a nice little body. Like she was nice, you know?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's kind of fucked up. Somehow I'm Dr. Phil, everyone. Any job I've ever gone to, people come to me.
That's kind of fucked up.
No, I swear to you, any job I've ever gone to, people come to my office. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm like, oh, that's fucked up. And then I met her husband because there was like a company barbecue or some shit. And then I'm like looking at him and I'm like, this guy's saying this? Like, bro, have you looked in the mirror? That's look
his problem.
Hideous.
That's his problem.
You know, and you get a lot of guys like that. And it's probably like that with
better
women, but
him.
Typically it's a guy like that's maybe not as attractive.
Yeah.
Maybe the girl's the more attractive one. Because usually there is relationship where there's one's more attractive.
Clearly, right.
You know, like,
right.
But
so he's bringing her down a peg because he knows
she could probably leave him anytime, you know?
So he's like, I gotta make sure she thinks she's
feel like
fat.
Cody does that sometimes.
Well, yeah, I think it's the... Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, no, in that sense where he's saying these things, but like, has he looked at himself lately? Like, he's not he's no Chris Hemsworth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He might try to look like him, but
I don't think he... I never heard him be like...
He's never berated,
right? In the sense of like, well, it's cruel, but like intentionally cruel in the sense of like, you're fat, you're gross, you're ugly. I don't like the way you look.
It's all how you interpret it.
You just tell somebody like, I'm not attracted to you anymore.
Well, how do you see yourself? And that's how you're going to interpret what they just saw.
And we were laughing last night because like, don't get me wrong, like Cody's in decent shape. He takes care of himself, for whatever. But he and Janelle are at dinner, and he's like, they show him talking. He's like, Janelle is in love with the way I look. She likes the pecs and the six pack, and I'm like,
he has no six pack.
Like, I don't think you have a six pack, bro.
You look like you drank a six pack.
Like he's got a little bit of a belly, and no judgment, like we all do.
No,
I think it's that culture. Like if you're in a not by any means all, but religious cultures tend to view biblical writings as teaching, concepts like the man is the head of the house, and women have a certain role, and that's fine if your family
if it's in the Bible, it's the truth.
It's Jesus's words, not mine. Jesus, he said a lot of smart things, but
women belong in the kitchen.
Women should be in the kitchen. It's it's not the way that I grew up because we were not religious. Like we went to church for years. But we weren't old school religious in that sense. It was not like
you would say like
my
your mom
was subservient to my dad. My dad might joke sometimes, but we all know like they're equals. They shared everything. They divvied up roles in the house, but it was very even. My dad was never like, oh, the kids, that's women shit, or cleaning the house. My dad was more anal than my mom was, so it's like everything was always clean.
I'm telling you, I'm your dad, dude.
Yeah,
like your dad. I'm not your dad. I'm your dad. Daddy. As I touch your arm, I'm your dad. But no.
Wait a minute.
But like at home, I'm the, I do the cooking, cleaning, typically watching the kids because I'm home.
Right.
I work at home.
Right. It's not a weird thing anymore. I don't.
So for me, that's just how it is. But Alicia also, when it's the weekend, is doing that.
Yeah,
because she knows I won't do it. It's not that I won't do it. It's just,
no,
she's
but
like,
you're tired of it.
She's like
anybody
no,
would be.
Yeah.
You're tired of doing it.
And the kids are pretty much self-sufficient enough now where they kind of like do their thing. But so it's not like, oh, I got to watch the kids. It's more watching the dogs.
But it's not even like a now it's your job thing. It's just like she knows that you've done it all week.
But like you just said, I didn't grow up that either way with the typical like these are the roles. This is the life you live. It's just marriage is a team sport.
Yeah, exactly.
You got to work together. There's going to be times you're going to fucking bump heads and hate each other because you're not on the same page.
Right.
And it's just a matter of just communicating, looking back, or in the film. Looking back at the film.
No, like those commercials.
Yeah. But you look back and, kind of reflect and figure out things and just kind of just work it out. That's I don't know.
Right.
Oh, it is Men's Mental Health Month.
God, we're all the way back to that again. Can you believe it? Wow.
I didn't know until the other day.
Yeah,
we're so
right.
tuned
November. What? Where are we? I don't even know.
I know.
Yeah, if you were to ask me, hey, what date do you think it is? I think I would say like September 20th. I'd like,
bro, for real.
I feel like we're not even in October yet, but here
Thanksgiving's in a few weeks. I don't even know what the hell's going on. I don't even know what we're doing.
Yeah. My parents come back Friday.
I don't think we're going to have no kids.
Really?
I think it's just going to be, I'm seeing my brother and sister going to come.
Oh, okay.
My sister, she didn't say yes or no.
You're kind of a question mark.
So I don't know.
Huh.
But it's like, come on over. It's not like I don't think the weather's going to be bad this year. I just feels different.
Yeah. I hear back and forth. Everything I've read
feel like
says
it's going to be cold.
Dry.
I hear it's going to be cold
but dry. Yeah. Is what I've read. But then I've heard people say, "Oh, I've seen it's going to be a lot of snow." I'm like, I don't
know. My bones don't tell me that.
Yeah, I got a few breaks in there, and I don't feel no pain.
I don't feel any pain yet. So, it feels warm. It was like 60 yesterday. Come on.
Yeah, windy. I want to work on. I'm going to trade out the stuff in my garage for the stuff in my little shop. I'm going to turn that garage into like a storage and like lawn garage, and then move all my woodworking stuff into the big garage. And I wanted to do that yesterday. Couldn't do it. Wind up the yin yang.
Yeah, Are you gonna try that today?
Probably not. I got a lot of other crap I have to do.
Oh yeah, get ready for school.
I gotta get ready for work. We have report cards coming up this week, and I'm well on my way. But I've got some things I need to do for work. Yeah. Man, I just feel like life everywhere is.
It's just been a heck. Like I said, last week I was in. Fuck, where was I? I was doing site visits, so I was here. I was in town.
Yeah.
So I did my site visits in town with one of my techs. We went to Hermiston. And then the next day or so, I was in like Sunnyside, Grandview, doing another site visit. And then I think home, and then I went back to work Friday. So the week just went so fast. But I'm telling you, man, doing these like site visits and being out in the field, it just feels better. Yeah. And I actually think, I don't know, I think Tyler might like that more. Nice. My boss, I think he might like that a little. Little more. I don't know. I have my one-on-one on tomorrow morning, so we'll find out.
Kind of excited to see what he has to say.
Yeah, he probably won't say much, but okay. Because usually my one-on-ones, as much as I stress out, they're usually pretty chill.
Yeah, that's good.
I'm not being rude to get on my phone. I'm being rude. I'm just being rude. To be rude. No, I'm looking for. Guys, there's a video I'm looking for the question of the week kind of thing.
Gotcha.
So yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, Men's Mental Health Month. I think that's still really important.
Yeah, it is.
But it's it just snuck up. But if you guys are struggling out there, bro, like I asked Tom how he's doing.
You did,
and I didn't do that because I just remembered as we were talking about the meltdown. I was just meet him like we hang out. This is when we hang out, right? So I was telling him, I was like, I don't want us to become like work friends.
We used to hang out a lot.
I'm like, I don't want us to be work friends. I still want us to hang out, every now and then.
Yeah, for sure.
In the butt.
We will. In the butt. Not in the butt. No.
In the butt. Well, what the fuck?
Well, while you're looking for that, I have a little story that's funny. I forgot about, but Blanca picked up Elliot the other day from school, and he's in 4th grade. So he's on the big kid side of the playground now. So things change when you hit the big kid side.
This is true.
So for every time Blanca picks him up, he knows mom gives more of a reaction, right? So he'll tell her things. And he's like, Mom, kids are saying stuff. She's like, oh, what are they saying? So like, this is over a series of days. So she picks him up once. He's like, Mom, God, they said a bad word. Well, what was the bad word? They said stupid. Oh boy. Okay. Mom, they said a bad word. Okay. What did they say? No, go ahead and tell me, bud. Just go ahead and tell me what it was. Dumb. Oh man. Okay.
Oh yeah.
Mom, they said a bad word. Well, go ahead and tell me what it is. No, I don't think I would. No, just go ahead. Tell me what it was. Fuck. The last one was fuck. It went from dumb to fuck. In a matter of like a day.
Yeah, that word's, well, fuck's not welcomed in our house, but we say stupid. Like we call that a cuss word.
Sure.
So JJ thinks that's a cuss word.
No, and it is. And I think it's good that kids know that as like not a nice word, not a good word.
So sometimes I'm like, oh, I'm so stupid. But I say I'm stupid. Like, I don't say it like.
Right. Like a funny stupid. Like, oh, but then silly I'm like,
me. Obviously, you don't want to say that.
Right.
But that's so funny. Like, I thought when you was going to say you said fuck, like he's like, fuck. Like this game. Fuck.
No, that'd be funny. I wouldn't laugh, probably. But I might laugh when the door's closed.
JJ says he doesn't say fuck. Right?
Oh.
No, he says, not frack you or it was close enough where I'm like, no.
Yeah, too close.
You know what you're saying. So if we hear him say something, we know what you're saying, which I guess that's okay, right? As long as they know not to say it. Like for me, if my kids cuss, I know they're going to cuss. I know they're going to cuss in front of people. And just like, that's going to eventually happen. But
right.
As long as they don't do it in front of like adults.
Just be respectful.
Just be mindful. If you're doing it with your friends.
Kids say stuff when they're alone.
I talk different with Tom than I do with other people,
Right.
I'm a little more I don't cuss as much. Although sometimes I do with my texts. It'll just come out. I'm like, man, that's fucking crazy. And I'm like, shit, there's people around. Yeah. Man, that's crazy.
That's cray.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I don't know. Elliot has not.
I can't see Elliot being
It's so funny when like I'm in class too.
But you don't cuss a lot either.
Well, I have moments, but I got bad for a while and I'm trying to curb it. It's just when I get really angry.
Yeah. Oh, when I get angry,
the swearing words fly. But it's funny in like my class, kids will say heck. I have some kids that say heck or God. And it's such a weird spot because it's like, it's not a cuss word, but it does offend other kids, right? Because like kids that are more religious, like saying God is not okay.
You're saying his name in vain.
So I'm like, well, so I try to like thread that needle and just like, hey, it's offending other people. So just be mindful of it. You're not in trouble, but maybe don't say things that are going to upset other people around them. Just,
Well, I think that's an important lesson for any kid to know.
I just think the awareness side of it, like it's not wrong, but if you know it's upsetting somebody else, maybe just be the bigger person and just don't say it.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, because in first grade, there's a lot of being the bigger person they need to learn. Being the bigger person is not a thing in first grade.
No, I bet.
I mean, some kids naturally, but it's funny. I'm like,
well, their little personalities, they're at that time where they're just kind of spewing whatever's in the brain. Those intrusive thoughts just come right out.
Absolutely. Yeah, intrusive towards you, not towards themselves. At this
you know what I mean, though?
Yeah.
Like, imagine if we had that same head as a kid, kid, we would say some crazy intrusive shit.
We would never have friends.
Every now and then I'll let my intrusive thoughts like leak out. Yeah. Just with like Alicia, I'll say some, something just to get a reaction. Just to see. Nothing like crazy. Like,
I'm not attracted to you anymore.
No,
I wish you'd just leave.
She would be like, whatever.
Did you find your
I think so. But anyway, I wrote it down actually. I thought it was in a video that I had saw. That I had.
Well, like we said, it's been very busy. It's Men's Mental Health Month,
yeah.
So
and my mental health's been pretty good this month.
Good. I'm glad to hear it.
Yeah, we still got a few more weeks, but we'll see.
It doesn't feel like it though. They're going to be quick. I know. We're in the midst of the holiday season. I need to get this crap done so we can get holiday stuff.
And
out.
I got to do There's a couple reports I got to get done. I always think I can get this done early.
Yeah.
But,
well, that's like my report card.
I love procrastinating. Do my best work at the last minute. Give me what you got a day? No, this one I can't wait a day because it would take fucking forever. Yeah. No, okay. I saw this thing. It was So it was in a video I saw, so I wrote it down. But it was like, who's that one person who saved, like pretty much like kind of saved your life without knowing it. Like they didn't know that person, not maybe they didn't save your life in the sense of like you were going to like off yourself or something like that. But like it was a turning point. It was a turning point in your life that kind of like maybe put you on a different track that you didn't realize you were going to go on, or you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely.
Or like, I don't know, kind of just changed you. I know kids for me would probably be that, like Elena. She kind of saved for me, like kind of saved me from maybe going down a different way and being an idiot. But I don't know. I know she was part of that, but then earlier in my life, it was probably the teacher that helped me graduate high school. I don't think if I would have graduated, I don't know where my life would have went or what I would have done. You know what I mean?
What was that teacher's name?
Miss Chesick. Cynthia Chesick.
What school?
Foster High School.
And what city?
Tukwila, Washington.
So
she was.
If you're
to
listening,
this day, I've said it before. I almost cried when she was like handing out the fake diplomas. You know.
Yeah.
When she was right there, because she was also my drama teacher. I went to grab it. I almost lost it right there in front of.
It's a big deal.
In front of everybody. Like the emotion like hit me hard. I had to like it was one of those moments where you like kind of fighting back tears and then that knotty in your throat. Yeah. And I was just like, because like for her to like take that time to let me make up those credits and being able to do that, like I could never repay that like that. I think that put me on a different course in my life. Because if I didn't graduate, I probably never would have went back to school or found the motivation to want to. Yeah. Because it's like, well, fuck, no one's going to help me.
Right.
So she took that moment, and even though life took me on these different paths, like that's something I never forgot that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it was probably her, and then like later in life, it was Elena, kind of like helped me grow as a person, really.
Yeah.
Like patience and.
Same for me. I mean, yeah, like
same shit like that.
So I didn't, have the same experience. Like at the point of my life where Elena came in, like I was finishing a second degree. But I was in a very sad, lonely place. Things just weren't what I expected them to be, and met Elena through her, and my life totally took off to what it is today. So I think. Kind of the same thing. And I had teachers along the way that made a difference. And, there's a lot of people.
My wife, she's meeting her. She's changed me in a different way too, where it's like, I think I got, I guess more adult without meaning to.
Right.
Because she had this belief in me that I didn't, I guess, believe in myself. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I was able to get a house, and that was, that was just something I was like, oh, shit, well, I want to keep this woman. Let me do this. Like she pushed me, but without pushing me.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, that was kind of like it was like for me with Blanca. Like Blanca was just opposite enough from me.
Yeah, exactly.
Like that, because I wouldn't have bought a house. I would have rented. That's the responsible thing to do. But it wasn't. It would have been the dumbest thing to do. We bought I would have went to an apartment time. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. To save money for a house someday. We got into a house. And we built an asset. And so, it was kind of the same for me. It was just like her differences from who I was were the perfect thing.
Yeah.
It's just what I needed.
That yin and yang.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Because Alicia is like very honest and kind of just says what she says. She doesn't filter. And I like, that's what I like about her, like some people don't get that. But like for me, I like it, and I understand. I can understand when she's pissed or not now and stuff, but that stuff, that's so opposite of me because I kind of keep to myself and I won't say anything until I have to say something. You know what I mean?
She's aware of that too. And helps you kind of.
And so she'll see that stuff in me and she'll be like, no, like something's fucking wrong. What's going on? Then I'll kind of say it. And I've learned to like, that kind of helped me learn to like, just kind of say what I'm thinking. And sometimes I say some stupid shit.
Yeah.
And I just kind of say what is coming to my brain in that moment.
Right.
So she's been like allowing me to do that. You know what I mean? Without getting mad. And I've been allowing her to, in the moments of her being upset, do that same thing without me like reacting.
Mm-hmm.
So we haven't really realized we're doing that, but it's like as I'm talking right now, that's what I'm realizing. Nice. Is that she like yesterday I had to take her to her friend's party, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't know I was going to take her. And she's like, I don't want to drink and drive, which I respect.
Yeah, sure.
But I'm like, oh, yeah, I'll take you. I didn't know. I was like saying goodbye. I was going to get on game games, go get JJ, get some food and go, play some video games. And I was like, yeah. I was like, man, I'm going to be right back here, though. By the time I get back, I'm going to turn around, come over here, get you.
That's what
I said. Huh? That's what I told her. Yeah. It's like, and she was just letting me vent in that way. She even goes, do you want me, you can just turn around, like, I'll just drive. I'm like, no, it's fine. It's just, I wasn't expecting it. I don't mind. I'd rather you not drink and drive. Like I'm good with it. It's just, and then when I drove there, way quicker than I realized.
Oh yeah?
Yeah. I thought, oh my God, I got to drive all the way to Lulu's. That's fucking far. It was more laziness. But I guess like you said, like that opposite, there's that opposite thing that happens.
Yeah. Well,
because you guys are so opposite.
We're very opposite. And we've really grown together. I mean, that's like, I've always dated like nice, good people.
Yeah.
But
then you met Blanca.
Then I met her. Totally. No, but like Blanca is definitely the first like adult relationship I had where, you're not just kids.
Yeah.
She had a daughter when I met her. And I had to grow up pretty quick and she had to grow up also. I mean, she wasn't her perfect person at that time and neither was I. So it's just interesting how you grow and change. And we fortunately to this point have been growing together and not apart.
Yeah.
And, sometimes she gets a hair up her butt and gets upset and maybe we just shouldn't.
I mean, that happens. You know what I mean? Like there's those moments where the girls ourselves, even we get those little hairs. Like, I still get my little for whatever reason. If I'm hungry.
Oh, me too.
Like
we
yesterday,
got into it yesterday because we were both hungry.
Yeah. Same. I was getting annoyed, but I was just like, I just had to realize I'm kind of hungry. I need to eat.
Yeah.
But no, it's like you said, growing together and not apart, because that's like the most important thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Got to keep that communication open.
Yeah. It's hard.
It is.
It's worth it. It's hard, but like Alicia's been like losing weight and stuff. Right. Mm-hmm. And so I can see a change in her attitude. She'll still say she doesn't take compliments well. Mm-hmm. So she'll still, say negative things, I'm fat still or whatever. But I mean, she's lost, like 20 plus pounds. And so she's looking good. And then now, I'm always, like, oh, you look good, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, you got to say that. You got to say that.
Right.
But, I don't have to is what I was, I don't have to tell you that. But I mean, you legit, legit do look good. Like, but yeah. I mean, do I have to tell? I mean, I do.
Yeah, well, sure.
To a point, but like I don't say it just to say it. I mean it.
No, you can tell a difference.
You know what I mean? I tell her like, no, you look good. Like you're looking. I was like, when was the last time you wore that shirt? Because she was like, because she came out in her outfit. I'm like, oh yeah, that looks good, girl.
Yeah.
I'm like, look at you. And, I'll say some shit like that.
Yeah.
And she's like, oh, you're so dumb.
But she's happy.
Yeah. You can see that. I could see the glow in her face, even though she's trying to hide it. And I was like, when was the last time you wore that shirt? She's like, I can't even remember.
Yeah.
Right. And she goes, and I was like, you look good. Don't even change.
Need to be built up.
I was like, don't even change. Like, so she kept that outfit on.
Nice.
Yeah.
She actually listened.
She did.
Wow.
Yeah. Usually
I'm like, she's like, what shoes should I wear? And I'm like, those look good. She goes with the other ones.
Oh, every time. Still happens.
All right. I always tell her, like, why do you even ask me? I obviously don't know anything about clothes. I dress like shit all the time. Why do you want my opinion?
No, yeah, that's what she'll do that. What about what shoes? And I'm like, those ones? Nah, I kind of like these ones. All right, go with those ones.
Right. Yeah.
But sometimes we're both that way though. Like I'm that way. I'm like, hey, how does this look? Because I like to like try to look halfway decent.
Sure.
But I like, hey, do these shoes match? Because I have a few pairs. So I'm like, do these match? Does this match? And so if she's not sure and I'm kind of not sure, I'm like, hey, Sadia, that's our like our tiebreaker. Sadia, what shoes should I go? I was thinking the brown ones, but she goes, yeah, no, the brown ones. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Like she's our tiebreaker. It's our oldest. She just turned 21. So yeah, the big 2-1.
Yeah.
Now she can get fucked up. No, I'm just kidding. No. She doesn't even drink.
Legal drinking. Yeah.
Well, she drinks, but she's not like
not a lush.
She's not a lush.
She's not like we used to be.
No, neither is Leo. He's
That's
not
good.
That way.
That's good.
He doesn't like being around drunk people.
Good.
I don't blame him. I don't like being around people who drink no more. I'll be a year.
I know.
That's gonna be crazy.
So what are you feeling? Are you excited to have a drink again, or are you feeling like this is a good new leaf? And
I think it's a good new leaf. I don't know if I feel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scared to drink again.
I was going to ask, do you feel
I'm not
like
gonna lie.
if you
I'm a little scared
again, it could?
I don't know. I'm kind of scared of that.
Yeah.
To be honest. Yeah. Like it's not that I wasn't. No, I guess I wasn't in control. Like I was, but I wouldn't let it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Kind of in control.
Like I was in control.
I start, but not
like
necessarily
I knew
what happened from there.
There would be times I'd go to the liquor store, not a liquor store. I'd go to the store just to get something, and I knew I shouldn't be doing this.
Yeah. Yeah.
As I'm getting in the car, I'm thinking, just get in the house. You don't need to get this. Don't do it. But I would drive, and I'm like, okay, don't do it. And then I'd get in the store, don't do it. And then I'd grab the bottle, don't do it. And then I would buy it, and then I would not. And I'd buy it. Well, you did it. And then I'd get in the car, and I would take a swig, right? And then I'd drive home because Yokes is close. Because drink and drive, it's cool.
Well, but you wouldn't actually feel it till you got home. I mean, you shouldn't do that.
No, there's no excuse. I shouldn't have done that. Right. But that's that. I'm just painting the picture of that's exactly what I would do. Mm-hmm. And that I would do that. I'd just grab a bottle of Tito's vodka. I would take a pretty big swig, get home. It's 11 in that morning, and then I'd get on a meeting or I'd do something, stupid. And so like that, I already knew then that, okay, I probably should stop drinking, which I did. I stopped drinking. Right. Yeah. But there would still be those times where I'd go to the store and that same cycle.
Yeah.
And so now that I've quit for the year coming up, like I'm scared that I don't want that to happen again.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Well, because alcohol is such a tricky thing. It can.
I recognize that I had a problem, obviously, and that it might not have been a daily thing all the time, but it was a problem,
Yeah, right.
Like that. Even at the end when I was getting ready to quit, when I quit, but like those last few months because we started losing weight and shit.
Yeah.
But when I quit, like I was good, but I would still have those thoughts though. Like I would go to the store and want to get the drink,
kind of the behavioral patterns of it.
Yeah. I think that's what it was. It was a habit.
Right.
And so, and I recognized that habit only because I was doing that with energy drinks. And so I recognized that's what I would do with alcohol. And I remember when I'd go get alcohol, I'd be thinking that like, nah, you don't need to drink. And so with energy drinks, because, would have a couple energy drinks and then I'd go to the store to, go get an energy drink. And then when I was like thinking about it, I was like, no, I don't need a fucking energy drink. So I wouldn't go.
Right.
It's just that habit, that cycle that, I'm just doing something to do something.
Right.
To get away from the house. And so I think that's why me driving around, helping my techs, doing that stuff kind of not fixed it, but like kind of helped.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I am scared. I'm not saying I'm going to drink again or not drink again, but we'll see. But that's always that
fear. But you're just going to pay attention to it.
Yeah. That's that fear that is in my head that I want to keep with me.
Well, hey,
you know what I'm saying?
I don't think we ever should go back to how we were.
No,
I don't think we should
happening.
be, partying.
Which we were.
We weren't horrible. Don't get me wrong, but like, we would let loose together. We would drink and definitely get a good buzz on. And I think the danger for both of us was it's just too easy to get into that habit. And I think it's also good for a friendship that it's not based on the alcohol or a substance. And
we didn't. we didn't hang out just to drink though.
No,
so that was a good thing.
We didn't. But I think we typically did.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. There'd be those weekends and yep. No, that's true.
So,
especially on like when we started doing the podcast on Fridays.
Yeah.
Shit, we'd be bugged up. There's a few early podcasts where I'm pretty drunk. There's a few ends of those podcasts I don't remember.
Yeah, a little more than, but you live and you learn.
I think the last one I can remember being drunk on and not remembering was when Mike was here.
Yeah.
And I feel bad because that's the last time he was here.
That's all right.
So I am sorry, Mike, that you had to see that.
Yeah, I think he listens still, so I think he knows.
Yeah.
You've been dry for a year. Almost.
Yeah. So coming up on a year. Cool. But we'll see. We'll see where it goes. I don't know if I will drink again. Someone asked me that same thing, and I'm like, I don't know. We'll see.
But the cool thing is, like,
if I could do a year, like,
shouldn't be. Society puts a lot of pressure on alcohol.
Yeah.
And
I like being drunk. I like being buzzed.
Oh, sure.
You know what I mean? I enjoyed that feeling, and so. Was I trying to catch that feeling? Probably.
I think that's the problem, though, is like, and I've come to that place too. Like, I used to go for that, and then I like a switch. I think we've talked about this, where it's like a switch where it goes from controlled drinking to like just drinking like it's water.
Yeah.
You almost just that thing shuts off, and then it's just you're drinking, and now it's beyond just a buzz. It's like your body's just doing it.
That the last time I drank, that's pretty much I think what happened was we drank here, and like I said before that, the month I don't know about 2 months before that, I had really quit.
Yeah,
a little bit, but I'd still drink, and I'd still have a drunk here and there, but nothing like before, right? And so Christmas Eve, when you had that party, like that was the first time I like drank a lot.
Mm-hmm.
In a long time, and we had just lost a lot of weight.
Remember that you drank that much. That was the crazy thing. You left seeming perfectly fine.
No, yeah, it's when that air hits.
Yeah.
Wow. And then when I got home, lights probably went out, and I just whatever was there at the house, I probably drank, and that was the last time I drank. And so it was I was still drunk Christmas morning when I woke up.
Yeah,
I didn't feel like shit. When I tell people I felt like shit, I didn't feel like shit. Like
emotionally,
I felt like shit.
Yeah.
Physically, I just was drunk. I didn't feel like hungover.
Yeah.
It was more the emotion side of like, what the fuck? What the fuck's wrong with you? It was like, that was a moment in my life where I was like, kind of self-reflect hard. Like, what are you doing? And I made my mind up that day. Like, no. And then I was like, I'm just not going to say anything to anybody. I'm just going to just go about it.
Well, I mean, and like good for you, because I mean, imagine what if it had gotten worse? Like what if it turned into a situation where it was like turning into 2 times a week, then 3 times a week, and then
that it used to be that way, early on it was like that, and then I stopped, and then it'd be like just the weekends, but it'd be a lot during the weekends, right? And then it slowly got back to every few days and the weekends or whatever. Or the mowing or whatever. There was always a moment, to drink. And then it slowly getting down to just every now and then. But then there was that now moment that I got too drunk and missed Christmas.
And just a bad time.
And just bad time of the year.
Bad timing.
It was just it all hit right there at the moment. Yeah. And then I was just like, okay.
Right.
I guess that's what broke the camel's back, right? And that was the same.
Yeah, the straw that broke the camel's
That was
back.
it. Yeah. That was that straw that day, and so I was like, okay, probably.
Gotcha.
Because that was in that, and I know Alicia. There was going to be a moment where she just couldn't. She would probably be like, "No, I can't be around this." You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I know you're not doing it all the time, but I just don't like that feeling of knowing if I'm going to come home to you being drunk or buzzed, it smell like alcohol. Like she hated that. Like anytime she smelt it.
Right.
So it's actually since that year, like I have noticed the change in just our relationship. Not that it was ever a bad thing. It was just there's a closeness there. There's a change there. So
gotcha.
So it's better.
Yeah.
Kids seem fine with it.
Well,
I mean, the kids always hated probably when I was drunk.
But you always were loving to the kids. You were like, shit-faced drunk, you were never mean to the kids.
No. I was
kids.
never a bad, like, let's get this straight. I was not like an angry drunk or anything like that. There'd be the emotional, if you got too drunk, you're fucking, obviously you're like, oh my God.
Yeah.
But then usually I was trying to be funny and just say stupid shit.
Mm-hmm.
The intrusive thoughts came out.
Yeah.
Really? That's what
right.
That's what happened, those intrusive thoughts. Yeah. But anyway.
No, I know. It's
I don't know where how that even got to where that game. I don't even know.
I don't know, but it was a good conversation.
Yeah.
I appreciate you.
I was like, damn, it was an hour 40 in?
Holy crap.
We're in deep.
Sorry guys. We've committed ourselves to an hour and a half or less. So we screwed the pooch on this one.
That's all right. That's a good combo.
Is that a phrase? Screwed the pooch.
Screwed the pooch. There's always those weird phrases.
We just had sex with the dog.
We just screwed the donkey on that one. Yeah, screwed the pooch. Yeah. Right? Is it screw the pooch?
Or hooch? I don't know. I now I'm starting to wonder.
Me neither.
I have no idea what it means. Anyway, you guys.
Thank you for listening.
Thanks for being there with us. Take care of yourselves. Men's Mental Awareness Month, but if you're a woman, also take care of your mental health.
Exactly.
Everybody.
Thank you, veterans out there, for everything.
Thank you, veterans, for your service. I hope everyone has...
My cousin Eric and Nathan, thank you guys for your service.
Yeah, my cousin Kevin still, I believe, is affiliated with the Army.
I got my buddy Donnie, and... He's a veteran too, so
yeah.
And Ryan,
lots and lots and lots.
Yeah, there's there's so many out there.
So thank you guys. God bless.
Yeah, have a good one.
Have a great week.
Boom, boom, boom. Oh.